After winning the amazing race, Kim and I realized that we could win at anything as long as we work together. Now, we want to unlock that win at anything potential in you.
Chip and I are so inspired by promoting happy, healthy, and thriving relationships.
Oh, you can't be sounding all coquettish, girl. You know how you expect me to concentrate on anything, but you know what?
You're so cute.
Welcome to this episode of My Queen and I. Oh my God. I'm still trying to get used to that intro. I love it so extremely much. How about you, babe?
I do too.
Oh, speaking of the intro, guess who else I love? I love you. Thank you.
I love you too.
Well, today, Kim, as we know, it is our inaugural show. This is the first show. We have a lot of anxiousness, good anxiety, because we've been trying to get this off of our chests for so long now. And we just want to welcome people to My Queen and I.
But guess what?
What?
Why else is it special?
Oh, my God.
I bet you don't even know.
Oh, come on now. Today is what, Kim?
It's March the 2nd. It's our 35th anniversary.
Man, Kim, I mean, that is something. But not only is it our 35th anniversary, but 35 years of a happy, healthy marriage. I mean, a marriage that we have never had a problem marriage through those 35 years.
We couldn't have even imagined or dreamed that it would be such a blessing. And I appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you so much. And that is why we titled this show, Doesn't Matter Your Beginnings, Your Marriage Can Still Be Wonderful. Because our relationship started off rocky, as we'll get into. Now, anybody listening who might think that I'm saying that Kim and I, in saying that we've never had a problem marriage, that it is a perfect marriage, that is not the case at all. We've argued, fussed, fought, had the most volatile, screaming. We've done it all. We've had financial problems. We've had
don't mention that.
We've had ups and downs, but because of what we hope. No, not what we hope, Kim. We're going to make it happen. The reason for this show is we're going to give tips. We're going to give ways for people to be able to overcome going through all of that.
That's it.
And remain happy.
Yeah. Overcome. And it's so important. Just don't give up on your marriage. Don't give up on your relationships. There is always hope.
That's right. And we haven't even gotten to the point of Kim, I can say in the whole 35 years, I've never once thought of the D word. Not even once.
No, never.
Kim, are you sure? You haven't? I haven't.
Well, you might be talking about something else.
No. I'm talking about divorce, Kim, divorce. Okay, golly, girl. But, okay, let's continue on letting people know what this show. Here's the one thing that our show is not about. Even though, well, let me say it like this. We are not a Bible verse quoting show that talks about Jesus all the time and everything we say has to be referenced with a Bible verse. But let me tell you this on the other side of that. I am a sold out Christian.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Love the Lord.
Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And the only reason, or the main reason, but mainly the only reason our relationship is so strong is because we prioritize Jesus Christ, our Lord and Savior, first.
Yes.
And then this fine young thing sitting across from me, second.
Each other.
So that's the priority. And other things fall into line. And we'll talk about that later, but that is the priority. Now, that was about as much as we're going to be touting God or Jesus, but we hope that you can see Jesus shining through us as we go through what we do on a weekly basis. Okay, so
and the main reason too is we want to build a community of marriage zealots. Would that just be awesome to have this community where everybody is so in love in their relationship. We're each helping each other. We're sharing stories and we're building each other up, not tearing each other apart.
Right, Kimmy. And the thing is when you have a community of people who value something and they all have the same value, it makes it a strong community. And we want people to tap into the power of having a strong, thriving marriage. So, and we see that some people don't even understand it. They like can't wait to get away with the boys. Me, quite honestly, Kim can attest to this. We don't even like doing stuff that is not couple related.
There you go. We like to be together. And we'll share that later on, some of the wonderful stuff that we do, right?
Right. Now, our vision for My Queen and I, we have a huge vision. We realized that like Oprah or Bill Gates, they knew they were going to do something great, but they didn't know exactly what it was. But right now we are dreaming big for this, because we know there are a lot of married people out there who are not thriving in their marriage. So what we see conferences in the future.
Fun stuff.
We see cruises. We see breakthroughs in marriages. We see seminars, parties.
Yeah.
So we just see My Queen and I. And you see this T-shirt. I mean, you people who are on the podcast, I mean, not on the podcast, on the video, you could see these T-shirts right here. We had these. We feel that if you, ladies, I'm talking to you, if you could have your man wearing a T-shirt that says My Queen and I, man, just think how strong that is. And I wear this thing proudly, man.
And it sure makes me feel good. You look good in it too.
Oh, look at her. You just trying to get some. But mainly, we're going to be setting powerful standards and principles for marriage hopefuls also, because people, so who is this podcast for? Definitely for married people. That's a given. But for couples who are engaged, or couples who are dating, or single people who want to someday have a partner. If you listen to our weekly show, you'll be getting tips and tidbits of somebody with our expertise of having a 35-year marriage on a weekly basis. It will put you, and I'm telling you, some of these tips, when we tell people, they go, wow. And we're just so excited. So, oh my God, we just.
And that really is our credentials. The fact that we've been married for 35 years and we feel like we have been through so much, but yet we've learned a lot from people, but we still have a lot to learn too. So that's why we're hoping that this community will all share our stories together and get through it.
Oh, definitely. And why now? If somebody is wondering why now My Queen and I, it's because people on a daily basis want us to write a book or want us to come and speak. And we said we're tired of just being so busy doing what we do as realtors. We're just so busy doing that we couldn't take the time. So you guys don't know this, but we are up at 4 o'clock in the morning shooting these podcasts and to put them on weekly. But we're doing that for you because Kim and I realized that after we won the Amazing Race, against all odds, still being to this day the oldest couple to win that show, we feel that we can do anything as long as we work together.
Yeah, I mean, after 35 years, our marriage, we see it that we have, I guess, our biggest attribute is that we've been very, very respectful to each other. You know, and I think that's where our love has really thrived.
Right. And here's another thing. Everybody's marriage is going to look a little different. But what makes us happy is to be able to be free, to be playful. And Kim and I laugh and joke from time to time because if someone was able to like come and listen to us stand outside our door and listen to us in our bedroom, they would say, dang, those fools are in trouble because
Who
we
are those
talk
crazy people in there?
Oh, because we talk crazy to each other. I'm talking about crazy. We get called a few names, especially coming from that side over here.
And our poor kids have heard everything.
Man, our kids, they just go around. They don't even react anymore. They say, my parents are cray-cray. But, you know, the thing is we're respectful. We don't do that out in public. But so I'm telling you right now, it will not be controversial when somebody says, oh, my God, you should have heard how Chip and Kim were talking to each other. But that's how we enjoy it. But one thing I'll say, Kim, and I wasn't going to say this. When we are angry at each other, are arguing, are fighting, we don't use colorful language then.
Right.
We're respectful then. But when we're playing around and goofing around, shoot, all bets are off then.
Well, why don't you tell everybody what my Queen and I's formats are going to be? How are we going to deliver these shows each week?
Well, the format is going to be where we're going to be a topical show where we're going to have a specific topic we're going to talk about. Some of them coming up will be fighting fair. You know, how to fight fair. That's going to be a rich one.
That's going to be a good one.
Now, Kim, what's one of your favorite shows that are coming up?
I think how and what are the keys to basically prioritize your marriage? What are the keys to make your marriage priority number one?
Right. And with this, we always want to have fun. That is the thing. And we'll give you some tips. And actually, I am going to today, and Kim, you can't let me forget to do this because you don't even know what I'm going to say. But I can tell you the day you became my queen. And I've been waiting to tell you, but it'll come
really?
up. But I remember the very day you became my queen, and I'm going to tell you. And I'm getting a little emotional right now thinking about it.
Well, you got me excited now. I didn't know that you were thinking about that.
Right. Well, let me ask you this. Did I talk about, and then with the formats, we're also going to have some interviews. We're going to be interviewing people. We'll use Zoom interviews so we can interview people all over the nation with a lot of contacts that I've had from the past, and some of them will be celebrities. We've already talked with, I don't know how many of you have heard of the old show, Welcome Back, Kotter, with Freddie Boom Boom Washington, Lawrence Hilton Jacobs.
Ooh.
We're going to be interviewing him. He's been a man who has been single his whole life, and we'll be talking with him. And then we have a bunch of people with the invitation has been sent out, but we're not going to mention their names until they've been.
Ooh, I can't wait for Brad Pitt.
See, that's another thing, you guys. Kim and she can say stuff like that. I got to be careful with the ones I say, but I know she loves Brad Pitt.
You can say what you want.
Know.
That's my hall pass. Remember?
Right. And so, like I said, the title of the show or the essence of the show today is, it doesn't matter how you began. It's just, you can still have a wonderful marriage. So we're going to start now going along those lines. Now, if you're wondering what the value add to you listeners is nothing more than Kim and I want to instill in you all of the tips, all of the love, all of the ways we've dealt with issues in order to remain happy during our marriage. When we see that other people choose to go awry they stray from each other when hard times come. Yeah. And so that's the value add. If you listen to us, you will be equipped with the arsenal to withstand an onslaught of attacks against your marriage, because
there will be some attacks, but nothing gives us more pleasure when we see people just fight through it. I mean, just give your relationship every chance that you can.
Right. Now, I've said it before, and I'm going to want this to be attributed to me one of these days in Wikipedia or Google or something. But the main thing that I truly believe is, and here's my saying, so listen, you ready? We cannot control that which happens to us, but we have total control over our attitude towards that which happens to us. So think about that. If bad times come, I can either get mad at my wife, or I can say, hey, as long as my wife is cool, as long as she's happy, everything is cool. So it's just your attitude. So attitude, like, what was his name? Agassi, Andre Agassi. Attitude is everything. Attitude is everything. So now, we spoke about format, and this show's format, of course, is going to be topical. So the topic of today and the title of the show today is How You Began Doesn't Matter. Because think about it. You may have had a 10-year terrible marriage. However, how wonderful would that be if today you started in the path of having a thriving marriage? So forget about the past. Let's start today having a great marriage, okay? Let me prove to you, in part, and it'll be a great little story that Kim loves, and and I wrote this because everyone would pretty much ask, how did Kim and I meet? So I took the time. I think, how many years ago was this, Kim?
Maybe about, do you think 10 years ago?
Well, yeah, maybe about 10 years ago, I wrote this. So this is to let you know how the way you start doesn't matter. So the name of this story is How Chip and Kim Met. And in parentheses is, thank God for the Z. In the summer of 1978, Chip went to a party that was being held in the recreation room of the Oakwood Garden Apartments in Marina del Rey. As Chip entered the doorway of the party, his breath was instantly taken from him. Though the room was dark, a beacon of light shone on the most beautiful sight he had ever beheld. Right there in the middle of the dance floor was Chip's future. The popular dance of the summer was the freak. This particular dance was one in which the dancer slowly and gently writhed, barely moving their body in a sensual side-to-side, front-to-back motion, all the while lightly toying with and touching their own bodies in such a way as to arouse even the most rigid watcher. Well, that being said, the light in the middle of the dance floor was being generated by who would come to be known as Kim. Kim thoughtfully and perfectly painted a pair of flawless Jordache jeans over her voluptuous and sumptuous hips, thighs, and perfect buttocks. She also wore the cutest shiny tan long sleeve blouse that went well with her like-colored candy shoes. Once Chip caught his breath, pinched himself to make sure that this vision of loveliness was not a figment, he composed himself enough to attempt to talk with her as she was finishing up her destiny dance. Holding his heart out to her in his hand, Chip introduced himself to Kim and asked if he could treat her to a drink of her choice. Anticipating the voice of an angel, Chip was sure that Kim would gladly and graciously accept this kind offer. However, Chip's ears betrayed him by registering a loud and belligerent, "No, you can't buy me no drink." Chip later found out that Kim thought that he was a conceited actor. That was why she was initially shunning him. Taken aback, Chip was certain that there was something that Kim was not understanding about his kind offer. Being an extreme optimist, Chip opted to swallow his pride in order to convince the beautiful Ice Queen to take him up on his drink offer. Worn down by Chip's unwillingness to curtail his attempts to engage her, Kim finally agreed to order a drink. However, after Chip returned with her drinks, she remained out on the dance floor, dancing with several partners for the next 45 minutes. Chip was undaunted, though, due to the fact that this diamond in the rough had to return. She had left her purse at the table next to which Chip was diligently standing. Finally, Kim and her unfounded bad attitude returned from the dance floor with an exasperated gasp once she laid eyes on Chip. Something in Chip told him that this girl had to be better than her bad attitude. Actually, Chip felt that this super fox is too fine to be this mean. The conversation was very one-sided as the gorgeous, frigid maiden continued on her mean streak, completely obtuse to the situation. Chip had the audacity to request Madam Ice Queen's phone number before he bid her adieu. Chip was certain that she would either not give him the number or that the number would not be the right one. A few days later, with no expectations, Chip called the number on the matchbook. To Chip's utter surprise, Kim answered the phone. However, once Chip's voice was recognized, Kim dryly and begrudgingly sighs the retort, "Oh, it's you." Over the next month or so, Kim does not warm up much during Kim's weekly calls. So the beaten Chip gives up on her. Cut to 2 months later. Chip and his buddy Patrick are cruising down Crenshaw Boulevard in Chip's brand spanking new royal blue 1977 280Z. This was not just a car, this was an experience. While on the boulevard, Chip and Patrick are abruptly disrupted by a car full of foxy chicks that are catcalling out to them while they are going down the opposite direction on Crenshaw. Chip can barely make out, but one of those foxes in the other car was Kim. Later that night, Chip calls Kim's number to see how she is doing. The conversation goes as such. Kim, hello? Chip, hello, may I speak with Kim? Kim, this is Kim. Who's speaking? Chip, this is Chip. Kim, hi, Chip. You haven't called me in a very long time. I thought you had forgotten all about me. I'm so glad you called. I didn't know you had that fine car. And the rest is history.
I don't think I remember what kind of car you had.
Man, so the moral of that story is you could hook up with somebody who is very materialistic and only loves, she loved nothing about me at all, but the only, Kim, talk about what it took for me to go from just a person who owned a car to becoming your husband.
Well, that's a long story. I thought more, though, for you, what I liked about you more is because I thought you were a mama's boy. Remember? Because you were a coach for the Inglewood little football team.
Right.
So I thought that I saw how you inspired those kids. That's what attracted me to you.
Right. And
not the car.
And we're going to get into it later in upcoming episodes of My Queen and I. But Kim's and my Oh my God, our dating years, we dated for 7 years, and nothing about our dating said we would have a successful marriage. Nothing. We loved each other. That was the only thing. But Kim, now comes the time that I alluded to earlier in the show. I am going to tell you and bring back to your memory the day you became my queen. Now, I said I remember the day. I don't remember the day. I remember the time and the actual happening that happened.
Okay.
I was an actor at the time, and this was in the mid 80s, and we had young children. Our children were very young. So that was like the mid to late 80s. And I was a struggling actor. I think my career was fizzling, and I came home one night to you. I said, baby, I think, and I just even couldn't get the words out because it was our dream for me to be a star. It was our dream. And I said, baby, man, I don't know how to say this, but I finally got it out. I said, I think I'm gonna, cut back or stop my acting classes. I think I'm gonna look into something else, another career. And she didn't say anything. And then the words that came out of your mouth after that, you said, I'll never forget. You said, wow, I've been praying for that for 2 years. Praise God. Man, Kim, you know that actually.
I remember.
To this day, that is because I said, Kim, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me that that's what you were praying? I thought why didn't you just say something? And you looked at me and you said, I would never, ever take your dream away from you.
I remember. I remember that.
And that was a moment. That was the moment that you showed me that you're there for me. We couldn't pay bills, and you never did say, why don't you go get a real job? Why don't you be a man? Why don't you do all that? You just prayed, and you never even let me even imagine that that's what you're praying for. So, no, it's just hot in this room. So anyway, I love you. But that's the day you became my queen.
I remember, and I thank you for reminding me.
That's right.
I remember.
Okay, you guys. All right, that's all I could take for today. Do you have anything else to say, baby girl?
No.
Okay.
I just appreciate you. I love you for that. And I just hope we can inspire a lot more people, a lot more relationships.
Well, thank you for being with me for the last billion years, it seems. I love you so much. And I just want to say to you out there, when she is truly your queen, you both experience a slice of heaven right here on earth. We love you. The sponsor of this episode of My Queen and I was Dynamic Traits in Living Color. Ever wonder why people annoy you? Want a better understanding of why people do some of the things they do? Wouldn't you like to create harmony with the people you live, work, and play with? Go to the Apple App Store and download Dynamic Traits in Living Color right now. Bring out the best in you and the people you do life with. Android app available soon.